जननीं शारदां देवीं रामकृष्णं जगद्गुरुं पादपद्मे तयो श्रित्वा प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः। नमः श्रीयतिराजाय विवेकानन्दसूरये सच्चित्सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे। Today, Swami Vivekananda's Jayanti. So, we have all gathered here in the name of Swami Vivekanandaji. So, let us think about Swami Vivekananda, few points. There is a saying, whoever comes in contact with Swami Vivekananda, the sleeping person will stand, the standing person will walk, and the walking person will run. Such a positive spirit is there in Swami Vivekananda. Even now, when we hear Swami Vivekananda's sayings or his lectures, everything, it gives us so much spirit, so much energy. And think, when he was living, those people who came direct contact with him, how they were encouraged, inspired, and all those things we will discuss, we will think now. Swami Vivekananda, it is 100% true that he was so much energetic, he is now also. He told, I will work even without body, I will work. He said, that is true. So even now Swami Vivekananda's words are so strong. Both in East and West, people were just influenced and inspired by Swamiji. They were monastic and even grihasthas also, householders. Among them, let us today see how few women who came in contact with Swamiji, how they were inspired and how they, that inspiration, how their life was influenced and how their life was fulfilled. That today we will think. We believe a realized souls, just a grace or touch of them will illumine the person. So also about Swami Vivekananda, in his life, whoever have come in contact with him, their life has been illumined. Now, let us see few women disciples. There was in 1850s in Jaipur, Samsara Charana Sen. He was the minister in that Jaipur palace, and his wife Herambavani, she was born in 1852. She was very much learned, simple and very soft spoken. She was peace loving and she was deeply spiritual also. Even though she was a queen, she was very simple and she was not egoistic. She deeply studied religious texts and wrote many poems and published also during 18th century. When Swami Vivekananda came to Jaipur, he stayed in Samsara Charan Sen's house, and there one day a music concert was arranged. Swami Vivekananda used to sing so much, very nicely he used to sing. So many people have come to hear Swami Vivekananda's songs and all that music, and many ladies have also come, but according to the custom of that period, at that time society, all the ladies were seated behind Parda, and this Herambavani was also sitting there. And when the music started, the first song she heard, and this Herambavani, she thought herself, such a nice voice, such a young sannyasi, poor fellow, he is a wandering monk. He doesn't know where the next meal comes for him. I think his mother has felt so bad of him becoming a sannyasi. Like that and all she thought. She doesn't know anything. She thought like that. And then she noted all the songs One after one, Swamiji was singing. Every song she noted and she remembered also the tune. And then she used to sing afterwards also. By nature, Heramba was spiritual, and after meeting Swami Vivekananda, she still dived deep in her spiritual sadhana, and she constructed Shiva temple by selling her own ornaments. And she was so much inspired by Swamiji, so the whole life she served the poor and needy as much as possible. Like that, her life was fulfilled. And then another lady, her name was Sarala Devi. Sarala Devi was Herambarani's daughter-in-law. Herambarani's elder son was Avinash Chandra and his wife was Sarala Devi. She was also very much inspired by Swamiji, and she also noted many songs what Swamiji sang at that time, and she also remembered always, and she used to repeat that songs, and even in her old age after 80 also she used to remember that song and she used to sing it. Swamiji sang like this and she used to sing like that. And according to Swami Vivekananda's instructions, she was doing Shiva Radhana, and she also served the poor and needy very much. And she distributed medicines, clothes and food for all the needy person, and thus by inspired by Swamiji, she served the society and she fulfilled her life and she lived up to 85 years. And then another lady, she was Prabhavati Devi. She was the second daughter of Herambarani, all are from same family. This Herambarani's daughter Prabhavati was premature baby, so she was half deaf. She couldn't hear clearly and not properly. In spite of that, she was very intelligent, and unfortunately she was also a child widow, so she stayed with her parents. And when Swamiji came, she also learned all the music and all, and she talked with Swamiji also. She had excellent memory and she has written from each and every detail of Swamiji. When he came to Jaipur, how many days he stayed, whom he met, what everything. And in Bengali that book was also published, which she wrote. And then Prabhavati by nature was very soft and also broad-minded. Seeing this child widow, Swamiji was very much pained, and then he blessed her a lot. From then, Prabhavati still dived deep in her spiritual sadhana. Her Ishta was Krishna, and she felt deeply blessed and led her life peacefully and lived up to 78 years. And then another, Mohara Bai was the queen in Rajasthan. By birth, she was a Gujarati. When Mohara Bai was 3 years old child, she was blessed by Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda took that child on his lap and he blessed that child. So she thinks that touch of that divine person, that Swamiji, my whole life has changed, she used to tell. And her life was very simple. Though she was a queen, she wore very simple dress, and she also, inspired by Swamiji, served the society, the needy, the wholeheartedly. And she did intense sadhana. The touch of Swamiji turned her mind fully inward. And then, in the Queen of Baroda, she was Maharani Chimana Bai. Swami Vivekananda appreciated this Rani very much. Once he wrote a letter to MacLeod, Josephine MacLeod. Swamiji tells, if you go to Baroda, you should meet this queen. So, thus Swami Vivekananda appreciated her. Why? Because she was very great. Baroda Raja's name was Sayaji Rao Gayakpad and his wife was Chimanabai. She was born in 1872 and when she was Baroda's queen, then the king arranged a tutor because the king was very much educated and he had many ideas, the philanthropic activities, and he wanted to serve the society, the poor, the needy, and also for women upliftment. He was very much eager, and so he wanted his wife also to be educated. So he arranged a tutor and one learned pandit. He used to come daily to the palace and he taught her. Thus, this women, she was well educated. And then he was far-sighted and he wanted queen also. So that so that she can help him in all the philanthropic activities. As per King's wish, she also encouraged afterwards the citizens of Baroda for everyone should be educated. Like that, the education was very well established at that time in that society. And she used to attend the meetings with king. At that time British rule was there, no? Their meetings were there and he used to take the queen and she also used to go there and very boldly she used to present her opinions before Britishers. And one such meeting was arranged purposely. In that meeting, after the meeting was over, there was some cultural programs were there. So some Britishers purposely to insult the Indians, when the Bharatanatyam program started, they left and went away. To insult the Indians only they did. But this Rani was very much upset. She got very angry. After that Bharatanatyam program is over, then the English dance was arranged. Then as soon as the English dance started, this Rani left that program and she went outside to, teach them eh, to answer for their, this was the answer for her ego. She was such a bold lady and she was so much spirited. In Gujarat, at that time, freedom fighting movement, no? At that time, Bhikaji Rustunji, one lady, she was very much spirited and she used to fight for freedom and all. So this Rani helped that lady also. And Chimnabai, not only that, she was a very ideal housewife and also she was lion-hearted queen with full of strength, courage and powerful queen. Everyone used to call her very powerful queen. And all her qualities, these qualities demanded appreciation from Swamiji and all other people. When this queen and king went to Kashmir, when they were there for some days, at that time Swami Abhedananda was also there. She heard Swami Vivekananda's brother disciple has come. So she very humbly went and met him and she said, you please start a school for girls education and I will sponsor for all the school whatever is needed. That's how she took every chance to help the society and serve and for the women education. And she also wrote a book called The Position of Women in Indian Life and tried her best for women's upliftment or women's empowerment. She was the president of Akhila Bharata Mahila Sammelanam in 1927 held in Pune. People were thinking ways to educate girl at that time, but she made in Baroda compulsory for girls education. And she also strongly opposed child marriage. At that time, parda system was mandatory. Every woman should cover her head and face with a sari. But one day, this lady, this Rani, she went to one court for one program was there. She went with king, and there purposely she removed, she didn't cover her head and face. Like that, she made women, it is not mandatory to cover head and face. And she also encouraged girls who come first in school by giving them prizes, thus by encouraging them. She also started Stree Udyoga Kendra and hospitals, and also helped women and widows in many ways. All this was, the inspiration was Swami Vivekananda. Because of Swami Vivekananda's inspiration, we should say at that time how the society was. Now they doing these things is nothing, very easy. But in 18th century, when the society was so much prejudiced, at that time this queen very boldly, with the help of Swamiji and with his inspiration, she did all this work. And then another lady, Usha Devi, she was in Gujarat when Swami Vivekananda, two times he visited Porabandar, and at that time he stayed in Shankara Panduranga's house. This Shankara Panduranga, he had a very big library in his house. Many, many field of books were there in Sanskrit, Marathi, Hindi, English, everything. Very vast library he had. When Swamiji went there, this Shankara, he took him to library and he showed, and Swamiji was very much pleased seeing all those books. And then this Swamiji said, this Shankara said, Swamiji, please stay in my house for as many days as you want, and you can use this library. And this Usha Devi was Pandit Shankara's wife. When she met Swamiji, she was 37 years old, and she had 5 children, 3 girls and 2 boys. Among those 3 girls, Shama was one of the daughters, and she was master in Sanskrit, Marathi and English. And she wrote many books at that time, and she was famous as Pandita Kshama Rao. And she wrote detailedly about Swami Vivekananda's visit in Porabandar. And she had so much Shraddha and Bhakti. And this Shankara's wife, Usha Devi, she was also so much inspired by Swamiji. And while cooking for Swamiji, she used to cook as if she is cooking for Bhagavan's Nivedan. Like that, with so much Shraddha and Bhakti, she used to cook and serve Swamiji every day. Now, Sister Sudhira, whoever have come in contact with the Ramakrishna order, everyone knows about Sister Sudhira, Sister Nivedita, Christian and all. Sister Sudhira was born in Calcutta, and she worked in Nivedita school as a teacher. She was so much inspired by Swami Vivekananda's words, so she renounced, and her brothers were sannyasis in Ramakrishna Math, and she was doing intense sadhana, and also she worked hard for women education according to Swamiji's ideas. She also helped freedom fighters, and she inspired many young girls. Our Bharti Prana Mataji, she was also helped by Sister Sudhira to come out of the house in the midnight one day, and she took the responsibility of, she was called Parul at that time. She took the responsibility for some time up, and then she was staying with Holy Mother. That's how in that society, taking the responsibility of one girl, it is not so easy. So she was so bold, Sudhira, she was so bold, and she helped many girls like this. All the children in Nivedita school, they used to like her so much. Sister Sudhira, they were ready to give their pranam also for Sister Sudhira. And then now we will think two ladies from west, from east. They are sister. Swamiji went to west. No, there also so many were inspired. Among them, two women disciples. We will think. When Swamiji went to west, there in London, there one lady I. Margason, she arranged one program in her house. So one few ladies were there. Amongst them, Margaret Elizabeth Noble was also there. Later, she became Swami Vivekananda's disciple, and her name was given by Swamiji as Sister Nivedita. At that time, Miss Noble was known to all as an young, forward looking educationist, and she was very religious also. Another day, during question and answer sessions, Swami Vivekananda suddenly rose and thundered. What the world wants today is 20 men and women who can dare to stand in the street and say that they possess nothing but God. Who will go? Swamiji questioned. Swami Vivekananda wrote to Mr. Noble, Elizabeth Noble, the earth's bravest and best will have to sacrifice themselves for the good of many and for the welfare of all. Buddhas by the hundreds are necessary with eternal love and pity. Who will join? Again Swamiji questioned. Another day he said, girls in India never went to school. He wanted them to be educated and said, Miss Noble, I have plans for the women of my country in which I think you could be of great help to me. She was waiting for that call and she joined Swamiji's army. Thus, she came to India. She became more Indian and she loved Indians than she loved India than Indians and also served India, especially women. Thus, she worked for Indian women education and for freedom of India also. Sister Nivedita served India so much in every respect and gave her all to the nation. She dedicated her whole life by inspiration of by the inspiration of Swami Vivekananda. And lastly, Sister Christine. Everyone used to call Sister Nivedita as Sun Sister and Sister Christine as Moon Sister. Nivedita was like sun and this Christian was like moon. So, Christian was invited by Swami Vivekananda in Thousand Island Park and in America, and she was very pure, soothing nature, calm, and she was a living example of Swami Vivekananda's ideal of love and service. Swami Vivekananda trusted Christian so much. In fact, theirs were like father and daughter relationship. And Christine, very much inspired by Swamiji, gave herself for educating Indian women. And she joined Sister Nivedita School and she developed the school as cultural center. And by fulfilling Swami Vivekananda's ideas, she calmly attained divine and passed away. There are many ladies inspired by Swami Vivekananda. Only few now we thought. All their lives were fully inspired by Swamiji. It is very interesting. And by knowing their lives, I think not only by we are always inspired by Swamiji, that is okay. By Reading these lives of great ladies also, we should take inspiration and we should also serve the society. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat.